We are live. What's going on, guys, gals? You're not on camera. Don't worry about it. They didn't see you flipping off our wonderful audience, the bird. But welcome.
I was not flipping.
No, he just had the fist
like
up.
this.
Oh, that's still. I'm still offended. Welcome, one and all, to a fun little spectacular evening. It is WrestleMania season, baby. I got with me the wonderful power couple of the Horny Goat crew. I got Heather and JP on the call with us. How you guys doing this evening?
Doing well. We are going to talk WrestleMania, and in fact, that's why we're doing this show. I will say I enjoyed it. There's a couple of things that I will say that I did not like, but that's nitpicking, but that's just me. It's a good show. Good show.
Yeah, I had a good time. And Heather, what did you think of night one so far? Well, I'm going to say so far. Night one just ended.
Night one was pretty good. I'm expecting night two to be better.
Night two with what happened at the end of night one. If you're not anticipating a good night two, or if you're one of those people that's like, meh, I did have my moments of meh, but night one, the ending to night one, I will say night two should be really freaking good, because that's where the real good matches are at, except for one, I will say.
Is it the Homo? Is it? Are you not an Homo sapien?
Oh, three. The women's I'm going to say this right now. The women's matches sucked.
Well, we'll get there, but we're going to simulate the matches through WWE 2K23 through this custom arena that I was able to pilfer and plunder at the last second. So we're going to simulate, obviously, night one matches first, kicking things off with John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship.
This match? Are you talking about this match?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah.
In real life, I will say it served its purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't a match that I would have had to start.
They needed something, considering what was on the card for night one. I don't think the men's fatal four-way would have done it.
I mean,
'Cause I'm going to tell you right now, that match started and was over by the time I was done giving Wendy a shout.
I will say this, though. It was very fast-paced, and the ending was fantastic.
I missed all of it in the time of getting a toddler a shower.
When it comes back on, you can watch it. I enjoyed that ending to that. I would say that, yeah, the match wasn't great, but the ending to it was something that I wasn't expecting, and it was great.
I wasn't
just with everything that happened in that, it was like a minute and a half. I enjoyed it.
I wasn't big on Theory. Used a lot of biting techniques, which I wasn't really huge on. Like, fine, a heel does it once, maybe at the beginning or a crucial point of the match, but I don't know. I just felt like that just threw me off a little bit here. But yeah, served its purpose for sure.
I'll go with Cody. It was maybe a 5.5 out of 10, and it should. When you kick off a WrestleMania, you want to kick off with something that flows. I would say that the next match that we're going to see, right, or the Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul match should have kicked off the show.
We'll get to that one. Shout out to all our wonderful peeps in the chat, too. We got, of course, as you heard, Cody. We got Federico and Alpha. What's going on, all you cool cats and kittens out here? We're just going to talk some Mania Night 1. We'll also talk a little bit more about our predictions for Night 2 now that Night 1 is over. Even though I know we talked about it on last week's No Bucks Given. And then No Bucks Given, I think tomorrow will be mostly just talking about Mania, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, we'll do Night 2. Talk about night one a little bit on recap, I guess.
Yeah.
That's I was going to do football, but then I'm like, oh shit, WrestleMania.
Football.
Let's do WrestleMania.
I love that belt.
WrestleMania weekend, why not?
I love that belt.
It is very true.
I do like this belt, and everybody at the beginning is like, oh, I don't like it.
I didn't at first. I didn't like when they changed over both belts so soon, but the U.S. title is definitely a better design, in my opinion. The IC title is starting to grow on me a little bit more, but I don't know where the fuck the ref is, but okay. Is the ref Super Cena? We can't see him?
Right.
That's what it seems like.
But this match was pretty good. It served its purpose, and The whole purpose of this match was, and if you didn't see it, and I've seen people shitting on this because they didn't want Theory to win.
Wait, seriously,
I'm like, why don't you want? And I say to everybody, why don't people like Theory? Is it because he looks too much like John Cena? Then why in the fuck are you rooting for John Cena?
He doesn't have much personality right now.
You see how that's just how dumb people are when it comes to wrestling? Well, I don't like Austin Theory. He's too much like John Cena. But when he wrestles John Cena, I'm going to root for John Cena because he's too much like John Cena. What the fuck are you talking about?
Now we're just going to be simulating these matches and just seeing how the AI does it, and well, we'll see if it's compared to the to its predecessor.
I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed night one. I would have much rather had the women's.
So many fucking ads. Oh my god! Like I thought YouTube was bad with their ads. Jesus Christ! Like there were a lot of matches like this. Matches presented to you by Snickers asshole. Like, dude. Like, okay, we got like TurboTax. This is all like, my god, there were so many fucking ads. So many ads.
Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio's match having the panels be bowls of cereal. It's like, if anybody's high at this event right now, they just got super hungry.
But everybody bitching that it's sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I don't give a shit.
I bet you $100, just like Heather said, you're wanting a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch right now.
Well, yeah, that's my problem. I can't get one at fucking 11:30 at night over here now. God damn it! Why are you showing this to me? But no, my point is that like it was just like it was blatantly obvious of like, oh my god, they're really pushing the ads on WrestleMania, which I get. I've heard that the reason they're doing that is because there are a lot of big players that are there at WrestleMania, like potential bidders that they're trying to like warm up to buy WWE, and so that's why everything is, WrestleMania is grandiose as it is, but they're trying to like overdo it now.
Here's my thing with that. Then I will say this: do they really need all of the ads to sell what should sell people on buying WrestleMania is what happens inside the ring, and I know it's not, but it should be. Because why are you buying a product if not for the wrestling?
Just see how much ad revenue you
audience.
And I get that.
They don't. The advertisers don't give a rat's ass about what happens in the ring. The advertisers care about how many people and how many eyeballs are going to be on the product.
How many people are going to buy their product? They don't care what happens inside of the ring, but the people buying WWE need to care what happens inside of the ring, not who's
correct. So it's like, hey,
you see what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I get what Heather's saying, but
attitude adjustment with no referee. Where the fuck's this ref? Okay, whatever. Fuck it. You can't see him like Cena.
Can't see me.
Oh shit. But like, no, like they're looking at it as, what was it, like close to 80,000 in attendance.
You're 80,497.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty. By the way, that's a new stadium, right?
Yes.
It's 2 years old. Yeah.
Ooh, gorgeous.
2 years old.
Gorgeous.
It was built the year before, and then they did.
I heard
last year.
I heard some rumblings that like WWE wanted to get in there, like ASAP, to be like one of the first times they were in there because nobody else had done anything really major aside from sporting events. Gorgeous fucking stadium, but
yeah, they did a really good job with that place.
Is this gonna be a bullshit countout victory that we can't see? But yeah, no, the advertisers. I get the advertisers. John, you dumb fucking cunt. All right.
He's doing it right. He's getting everybody back in the ring.
Jesus Christ.
Even the referee. But anyway.
Referee's on vacation. They swapped 5 referees. We just couldn't fucking tell.
The one thing I will agree with you on and kind of disagree with you on with the John Cena and Theory match is the biting. Theory played the heel really well tonight.
I don't mind the biting technique. What my problem was is that he
only did it 3 times. In situations, but the thing is, this is why Theory's so good in situations where it presented itself.
Oh shit!
So when he put the STFU on him,
yeah,
it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking bite you.
But
which killed the STFU, but who cares?
Well, my point is that I would rather have him have done it at the beginning or during a crucial moment like that, where like he was doing it to like avoid the STF. Like give it some importance, because I don't think he's done it. Well, look, same result.
He squashed John Cena essentially. But anyway.
But my point is that like I'm nitpicking. It just didn't feel like something he would have. I mean, I guess he's a great heel, but I feel like the biting thing is just a little head tilting to me.
I don't mind it. But okay, so I don't mind it. He's doing everything. If you've ever heard the old school wrestlers talk, you got to do anything to win.
True.
And I'm all for that, which is why I like this. Triple H did a really good job of booking the first night, except for a decision and how they built this match.
We're gonna be here forever for this next match. All right,
that's okay.
Let's see.
Night 2 is going to be really. It's going to be all about the build, and if they don't do it, have that being really you're going to have Eric Cartman. But anyway.
I found a few. Found a few interesting characters for HG Dub. That's all I'm saying.
John Cena versus Austin Theory served its purpose. It was there to help John Cena. It was there to help Theory get over. And if anybody doesn't see that Theory is the guy, I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
I had a brain fart. I'm like, who the fuck was the last team?
Yeah.
This was the ending to this match. The match lasted, I think it was 10 minutes.
This blew away my expectations.
It did. The ending blew away my expectations. The person that I thought was winning this match did not win this match.
Who'd you think was going to win?
The team that won this match. Spoilers. If you didn't watch it. I enjoyed the ending to this match. The spots that happened. Triple H did a good job.
Heather, you caught this one though, right? You caught this match?
No, I was giving Wendy a shower, and this match was on and done.
I didn't think this match. Go ahead, Heather. Sorry.
No, you were talking.
I didn't think this match would be worth it, so we gave Wendy. Well, she gave Wendy a shower.
I mean, understandable. We both on paper scoffed at these matches because we're like, they literally called them WrestleMania showcase matches, where it's like, here are the people we have nothing to do. Ta-da!
Yeah, exactly.
So it's understandable. But that being said, there were a lot of. This was the car crash. This was the human demolition derby of like, throw people in and see what happens. And there was some very impressive spots in this that I even wasn't even see coming. And specifically, spoiler ahead. You know Chad Gable's suplex deadlift roll up into another suplex?
Yes.
Yeah, he did that to Strowman.
Yes. And that's where it started picking up.
And the crowd popped hard for that.
That was one of the spots I was not expecting to happen. I was expecting Strowman to. There was also another Strowman spot that I wasn't expecting to happen. We'll get there.
Talking about the train.
We'll get there. Yes.
Yeah. That was also there was a lot of a couple things I noticed in these matches in general across the night was that like they were very good at doing the whole not bait and switch, but like kind of leading you down the pipe of this is what's supposed to happen, and then pulling out the rug from underneath you. Not prematurely, and not like as a fuck you swerve, but literally as a way to just keep you on your toes and not really like, oh, I can see this come, almost like false, not like false finishes, but sort of like false finishes.
So if there's something that another thing, this is Triple H. This is where Triple H is a genius.
Yeah, hats to him for.
Triple H built new stars tonight.
Yeah.
No shit.
They did it one night
in this match. He built a new star, and if you don't see it, you're a fucking idiot. But this match, it started like I'm typical. You know me. Everybody knows me. I hate this shit. I am not a fan of these multi-man.
Well, you love multi-man tag, right?
I hate it. I hate multi-man tag matches. I don't know why, because it is the way of wrestling today. It's the thing that gets people to pop, I guess. I don't know. And I get it. I'm not a fan of it, but this match, as long as it builds new stars, I'm all for it. And if it doesn't, I will be sorely disappointed, but it should have built at least 1 or 2 new stars tonight. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
That, Otis is not one of them. He's already there.
You're cheering for him at the Hall of Fame, for God's sakes.
Yeah, exactly.
They were fucking cheering him at the Hall of Fame.
I did watch the Hall of Fame last night, and I watched it for the Tim White thing last night.
Yeah, that was a well-deserved one.
That was really good. I love Tim White. Tim White is he and I will say this, Tim White is that one guy that is underappreciated.
He was Andre's handler for a while, too.
What's that?
I'm surprised they didn't mention his relationship with Andre more often.
They did.
Oh, okay.
They mentioned it. I mean, if that was the whole basis for it, not for him getting in the Hall of Fame, but they said if it wasn't for him, the guys wouldn't have got paid. He was the go-between with Vince and the talent getting paid. Nobody knows that.
I believe that.
The bar, the spot, all the bar scenes where you see in the bars, that's his bar.
Yeah, I've been there.
I mean, this guy, if you can't put him in the Hall of Fame, who do you put?
I think the idea of acknowledging referees in general is a smart idea. Like, I'm not trying to downplay Tim White. I think he absolutely deserved it. But I think in general, the idea of, and it doesn't have to be like the Warrior Award. It could be something else, like just like adding referees into the Hall of Fame. I think is absolutely deserved.
I think they missed the point as to why he was receiving the Warrior Award, because usually you receive the Warrior Award for like battling cancer.
Was it the Warrior Award he was getting?
Yeah, he got the Warrior Award.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't know what he got the Warrior Award for. I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it, but did he? There's a
yeah.
Like
I know what you're saying.
I will say this: like the ESPYs are built around Jim Valvano. If nobody knows who he is.
I know what you're talking. Yeah.
So that's what the ESPYs are built around, and I think if the WWE wants to legitimize, and they've tried. And I'm not a huge fan of the Hall of Fame, but the Hall of Fame this year, and we talk about Stacy Keibler getting in, and everybody's saying, I don't think people really understand the gravity of which she had an influence on the women's division at the time.
So, first thing, since we're on the Hall of Fame subject, I thought the size of the class was close to perfect.
Perfect. I loved it. The people that went in deserved it.
It's funny. I went back and I was looking at like Hall of Fame from previous years, and having been to one myself, it is kind of like staggering of like how many people are fucking left. Like, you know what I mean? Like how many people. So
if you look at, I want to speak. This is why I think the WWE Hall of Fame is a joke, because 15 people get in 1 year, and that's an exaggeration. But if you look at the baseball Hall of Fame, there's only like 4 guys. There's only like 4 guys that get in, and I can tell you right now, there's probably at least 10 or 11 that deserve to be in there a year.
Hold on, I need to see what year this was. I think I know what this year was. Here comes the chaos. Hold on. I don't know what year this was. Because when you said 15, you're not far off, because I think
there was a year where they had like 20 people going at once.
Let me see here. 1, 2, 3.
There are 5 people in this year.
Yeah, here we go. Ready for this? So I'm not shitting you. I am not shitting you on this. 1 year in the WWE Hall of Fame, they inducted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people.
See, and then this is why, and everybody's like, oh, Jeff Jarrett went in. Well, everybody fucking else went in.
By the way, this was pre-Warrior Award, too.
Correct.
Yes.
This was...
What they did is about perfect this year. Because usually about 4 or 5 people go into the Hall of Fame. And this is where Triple H, to his credit, is like, hey, let's do this legitimately. If people want to take us seriously, we need to put it back a little bit.
Yeah, less is more.
Make shit legitimate.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Give me a celebrity, a tag team, maybe a mid card. Oh Jesus, Angelo just fucking flew. You know, I feel like the size like 5 or 6. I can deal with that. I can deal with that now. But by the way, the 13 I was mentioning was the 2009 Hall of Fame, which is when they inducted Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Cowboy Bill Watts, Howard Finkel, Coco Beware, the Funks, Terry and Dory Jr., and the entire fucking Von Erich family.
Yeah.
Great. So
God.
That's why it's so big. It's just because of the Von Erichs. They should have just made that year the Von Erich year.
So I don't know if you were watching. Just like I don't know a minute ago, Otis just jumped over, and Otis can't jump over shit. But Otis just jumped over the stairs.
That's the beauty of this game.
Go back and watch it. He's like running around the arena, but he jumped over the stairs instead of running around the stairs.
Well, so far this match is very accurate to life.
Yeah.
Hey, the one thing that I was just going to say, this one thing that will not happen is if Braun Strowman running around the ring.
So the other spot that JP was mentioning earlier about the train was, I thought, genius. So he did the run around the ring where he shoulder tackled everybody. He went around once, hit about 4 people. But the second time, as soon as he hit the second turnbuckle, Angelo Dawkins counter-checked him and sent him flying, which I'm like, oh, fuck. And you know what? This
is where I'm like, oh my God, they just built another star, because he looked like
amazing
tonight.
Yeah.
So, and I've been saying this to Heather, what are they doing with Angelo Dawkins? And they haven't done anything. They did it tonight. Because this match was all about him. I mean, we already know what Montez Ford brings to the table. We don't need to see it.
Love how
it's already there.
Speaking of can't see, the referee's gone again, but
oh, well, it looks like I'm looking forward to 2K23. At least the ring isn't the fucking central focus.
At least the ring isn't what?
The central focus.
Central focus.
Oh well, give it a minute.
But so Montez Ford, they built a star in Montez Ford. I believe with what they did with him tonight, Triple H did a fantastic. We know what Montez Ford brings to the table. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Why not build Montez? This is why I think Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins will be broken up very near future. Maybe SummerSlam.
So given what happens in the main event tonight, which we'll get to, it is making me genuinely curious what's going to happen with... Actually, to be honest with you, it's genuinely making me curious what's going to happen to a good chunk of the different divisions of all the championships post-Mania. But specifically, tag team division. I am curious, booking-wise, what they're going to do. I think the right team won in the Fatal 4-Way. Oh, Strowman's going to win it. Nope. And 2 count.
So far, the matches we've had in the AI have been true to form. For a couple of things. I think this wasn't a tornado tag team match. I think
it wasn't. I can't do a standard Fatal 4-Way in fucking 2K23.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm all for it. It's fine.
Watching the press conference.
The press conference with go ahead.
Watching the press conference, and right now they got Sammy and Kevin Owens in there. They have the Snicker bars up there. Kevin Owens is now on the second one.
He's having what, beers?
What is
Snicker bars?
Wait, what is it?
I love me some Snickers.
Oh, Snickers. That's even better. I thought he would want a glass of Prime.
So, here's another thing that I wanted to bring up. And what makes was it that did AEW compare with
Yeah.
We'll get there. You have to remind me because I'll forget it. This is one thing that I will say the difference between AEW and WWE.
The press conferences after the pay-per-views.
Triple H isn't there, sitting there listening to fucking people shit on him.
Of course not. He's smart.
We have real media people there asking real questions.
I'm sure they have the typical, hey, I'm Sean Ross Sapp, suck my dick. Fucking.
No, Denise is there.
Oh, Denise Salcedo? Yeah.
I don't mind them, to be honest with you.
So Sean Ross Sapp,
yeah.
I don't mind him, but ever since AEW's came on board, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You were too over the top with shit.
That's AEW.
Yeah, because of AEW. Because
Right.
he's trying to be like, well, I'm trying to. No, you're not. You just shut the fuck up.
So here's what I will just also say, and I'm sticking up to not just Sean, but there's a couple of people like that. I get the vibe that you're. I understand where you're coming from. The thing you have to understand too is that like when it came right around the time that AEW started, maybe a little bit after, maybe a little bit before. But WWE was still very guarded to the press. They were very, and I'm not even talking just wrestling journalism. I'm talking in general. They would only release tidbits when they wanted to release them to get the attention and get scooped up elsewhere. Now, to their credit, they're starting to let people in behind the door and behind the curtain a little bit. And I think AEW was one of the starts to that because, A, they also had a relationship with BT Sports. And that kind of started to make things wiggle around a little bit because AEW basically took the concept of the press conferences from like big time fights, which also came from Japan and a bunch of other places, which I think is also genius because more attention, more notoriety, and oh shit, I thought Alpha and Gable were gonna be Jesus. He just got kicked.
So I think Vince, and I'm throwing quotes out there. Vince stepping away. Triple H and Paul. I'll call him Paul at that point. I'm not going to call him Triple H. I know.
Yeah.
He's all about that shit.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, NXT, he would do press conferences.
He did. Well,
one a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he wouldn't do one all the time, but he'd do one a month. But once Vince stepped away, he's like, I have creative control. Let me. You want me to build this brand? I will take it to levels that it's never been seen before. And with him doing these kinds of things after matches, it needs to happen.
God, we're
because
this match forever.
Like, what are the stars thinking at this time? You know?
So, like, right, and that's a concept they took from Japan and from other, like, UFC events.
Everybody's taking, I'm going to say this now, everybody's taking it from New Japan. It hasn't come from AEW. That's where I'll draw the line. It's come from New Japan. Japan is so good. This is, Triple H is, like, following the mold of New Japan. Tony Khan's trying to, but I think Tony Khan misses the mark when he's sitting there at every fucking superstar's press conference.
Yeah.
Like, why does he need to sit there and take the shit from CM Punk?
That's a whole nother.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
He sits there and then he looks at CM Punk like, "Why are you saying this? You fucking say something."
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Just sit there. That's the point I'm trying to drag across. You're not seeing Triple H. You're not seeing the CEO from New Japan sitting there fucking taking the shit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the problem I have with Tony. That's another problem I have with Tony. There's more.
So there's that move. Oh my God, he just did it to Eric.
Go ahead.
Alpha Academy 1.
Interesting.
Sheesh.
I do like an Alpha Academy as a tag team. I don't know where they're going with it, but I think Otis is going to go back to being a singles guy.
If Chad Gable turns single, they better give him a goddamn run with the U.S. title, and he will be fucking over like Rover, match-wise.
I think the Intercontinental title, either one.
Either or, yeah.
But go ahead.
If you're in WWE's shoes, Vince or otherwise, you like one thing that a lot of fans poke fun of with Vince is like, we're not sports entertainment. We compete with all forms of entertainment.
Right.
Okay, sure. So
Mhm.
if you lean into the sports presentation, though, because when people see WWE, they don't see yes, they do see entertainment, but let's face it, they usually equate it more with a sports lights package. It's one of the reasons that Ring of Honor did so well in the early stages, is because that's what it was pushing, that side of it. I honestly truly believe that's one of the reasons why they succeeded, to an extent. But now, if you're gonna give off that vibe that you are larger than life, then fucking back it up. Why would you shut people off? Why would you shut news outlets off? Why would you essentially harbor yourself and fucking ostrich, head, put your head in the ground like a fucking ostrich and isolate yourself from news outlets that could potentially like create more exposure for you and in theory potentially up your audience?
This is where I've always said, why doesn't Vince do press conferences after like a WrestleMania, or at least one of the big 4 or 5 or whatever? I don't consider Money in the Bank one of the big pay-per-views. Fuck that shit, because I don't think it should be its own premium live event. What I will say is I have not, and I think I've said this to Heather, I don't understand why they needed to not have these things, because Vince is like, I think he's listening too much to the board about, I want to be guarded. I don't want people to know what we're doing behind the scenes, because he's trying to keep the kayfabe.
Okay.
Well, kayfabe's bad, motherfucker. Right?
That's kind of why I picked my nickname.
And this
but
is
yeah.
where Triple H, if you're watching this press conference, like, wait until Rhea Ripley, who is a heel, which we'll get into, which is kind of why I fucking hated the fucking women's title match tonight. How in the fuck, they can come out and then fucking still act like a heel, but not be a heel. This is why WWE is so much more different than AEW. Like, if you're watching a football game, and I'm watching Matthew Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford is a quarterback on a team that I oppose as far as teams that I like, right? And Matthew Stafford comes out and says something. Is he really a heel, or is he just a human being? This is where Vince should have just said, fuck the kayfabe shit.
Well,
I think Vince, here's the thing. Vince with the kayfabe stuff tried keeping it and lost sight of really where wrestling was going.
Yep. So
Triple H gets it, and he's just like, you can be a heel, just don't act like fucking MJF. Press conference, which is where I have a problem with MJF. I'm like, dude, everybody knows you're not a real dickhead, because if you're a real dickhead, you're gonna fucking lose your luster as time goes on.
So one thing I just want to pivot on that one. Then I want to get Heather's thoughts on this next matchup that we're watching right now, because oh my god. So the only thing that one thing that I scoff at a little bit when it comes to certain heels, and then MJF's a bit of an exception, because, and I only say he's an exception because people kind of get what he's doing and they don't think that his gimmick is genuine, although he sticks it close to the vest, which is an admirable quality. Right, but I kind of give him a pass. One thing that irks me about heels in general is when they belittle their opponent. And what I mean by that is,
I agree.
When John Cena came out and did the thing with Austin Theory and they set up their Mania match, I fucking hated that. Because what that did was it made Austin Theory look inconsequential. And it either did one of two things. Either spoiled the match for you, knowing Theory was going to get his win and get the comeuppance on Cena, or it was going to be the biggest burial in fucking WrestleMania history if John Cena won the U.S. title.
Right.
Flair, to his credit, whether you love or hate him or not, I used Ric Flair as an example, and there's that princess crown. Tiara. You can't see it on camera because you can't see it. Heather was putting a tiara on. So one big thing I loved about Flair is that whenever he had a world title match, he would always showcase why his opponent was worthy to fight him for the world heavyweight title. He would still say that he's not good enough to beat me and that I'm still going to win and I'm the superior person, but he would never discredit his opponent. He would say he's a great athlete, he's a great competitor, all that stuff, and he goes, you may be this, you may be that, but you're not Ric Flair, and still without like tearing him down. And I feel like heels do that way too much now because it's an easy out. It's an easy way to get the heat, and it's like no, there's other ways you can do that. And so to JP's point about like keeping kayfabe during press conferences, that's kind of where I think that's a great place where you can find that middle of the road ground. Where like if Rhea Ripley came out, she'd be like, Charlotte was a tough opponent. You know, obviously she's the queen, 14-time world champion, but tonight was my night, and I showed her that I'm able to step up and I can deliver and I can topple the tyranny of the queen. Something like that. It's not knocking down Charlotte, but it's still, where the fuck's this ref? But anyway, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. Heather, I got to hear your thoughts on this matchup.
This match was fucking great. Logan Paul ziplining in, and then the Prime bottle showing up on the stage behind him. And then fucking Seth Rollins coming in looking like fucking Padme from fucking Star Wars.
He looked like a rose petal engulfed by a rose.
Yes!
Oh my god. Freaking.
It was fucking great.
I enjoyed the shit out of this.
Does anybody else want some Prime? No? Me?
No. I've never had it, so I don't even know what it tastes like.
I shit you not. It's actually really fucking delicious.
Okay. So if you don't know, Bobbitt, and I'm gonna get sentimental here in a little minute. When I still lived with my mom before Heather came out, Bobbitt wanted to stream a certain boxing match. And I think it's on his channel or my channel, I can't remember. But the KSI versus Logan Paul match.
Oh, no shit.
The boxing match. And Bobbitt's like, hey JP, can we, Bobbitt, and it's like, you got the pouty face. He's like, can we do something? I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm limited. What the fuck do you want? And I have no money. And he's like, I wanna watch or stream the KSI versus Logan Paul boxing match. And I'm like, okay. So we did that. And
legally,
there was one match that Logan Paul lost, and it was to KSI. KSI was he's a huge fan of KSI. And Bobbitt did tell me, he said KSI will be in WWE at some point. And yet here we are.
That was a fun twist to see.
It was an interesting twist because everybody said it's Jake Paul.
I thought so too. I thought it might have been Jake, but then when I saw it was KSI and then the bump at the end, that was great. And I loved how KSI was filming the entire time.
Oh yeah, so I would love to see the camera shot.
Yeah, give it a day. Give it a day or two.
Waiting for.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I to point that out because if you don't know, it's like Bobbitt. It's like, hey, JP. I'm like, yeah, I got you. We'll do it. What time? I had to get out of bed because I had stuff to do that weekend.
Match was pretty solid.
Yes.
The prime was, it delivered. I don't think it over delivered. I don't think it under delivered. I think it delivered the amount of expectation for me anyway, as far as the match goes.
This was match of the night until
the main event. Yeah.
I did not like the women's match.
So I've heard. Let me see. I have to look at the rest of the card. Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I can agree. I can agree with that statement. This was the match of the night until the main event.
And we'll get to the women's match. I just have too many fucking questions.
Especially the women's tag match.
Oh, the women's tag match. Don't even get me fucking started on that.
Well, we're gonna because that's the next match after this one.
Yes, what's next?
I'm skipping Miz and what's his face?
Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
that was fun. That was a moment. I will speak on that before we get too far. But see, no, Triple H is out there all by himself. Does he need anybody with him?
No.
You can just see he's like, see,
king.
look, I'm a better fucking booker than Tony Khan will ever think of me.
Yeah. We've got one Khan already. We don't need two.
He is looking pretty old.
Yes, he's starting to show his age.
He is 54, I guess.
Well, the guy's had how many fucking health problems the last couple of years? I mean,
the heart being the biggest one, yeah.
Yeah, shaved off a couple of years, I would think, in terms of even just like stress itself. Oh, Heather, remind me. You need to remind me. What are the New Japan rules? Is it 20 count outside the ring and that's it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh Jesus Christ!
It's a full 10 seconds, but it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, up to 20. Also, if you do a Royal Rumble with that, you can go over the top, you can pin, or you can submit to win.
All right, I'll have to see. I think those are options in the game. I have to see. Sorry, I just said Jesus Christ because fucking Seth just did a curb stomp from the fucking middle rope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that spot wasn't there tonight. I will say that Logan Paul again delivered for me. Everybody, yes, he is a piece of shit. Trek thinks he's a piece of shit. I don't think he is. I think he's just being who he is.
I bet you anything that WWE's gonna sign him again.
I don't think.
Guess what? Tonight was the last night for his contract.
I don't think Logan Paul is as bad of a person as everybody thinks he is. I think he's just playing a character because he knows it and it's making him millions.
I think he's smart, stupid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean when I say that, right? Like, they're
he is so smart that he is stupid in certain areas.
That's me. God damn it! Finish this match.
But Seth Rollins, if you don't think that he is going to get his run tonight to solidify that, he ends up winning this match. It was a great match. It everything you want to me in a superstar. I agree with Basement says this all the time. He's one of the best in the world, and I cannot disagree with that.
It's really hard to disagree with that.
He's got it all. He can talk, and he can fucking wrestle, and he can fucking put people over.
1, 2. Logan Paul wins.
Logan Paul did not win this match.
This is right on there.
Two matches, yeah, I was wrong with.
Seth Rollins is on the man.
So it's interesting to note that apparently there's been a couple of interviews over the weekend that Seth and Cody basically come out publicly and say that they do not like each other, and they don't like, they say they don't hate each other, but they're not like huge fans of each other either. To the point where like Cody thinks it's professional jealousy, and Seth kind of confirms it, where like Cody's like, hey, I was jealous of Seth of some things, and then he goes, and Seth was, and then Seth basically said that, like, you have a guy, he goes, I was here, I carried the company for a while, and Cody leaves and comes back, and they basically hand him everything on a silver fucking platter. So it's hard to argue either side of them. So to the point, the reason I bring that up is because I think Seth saw, like, he doesn't want to wrestle Logan Paul. Like, I don't think, no disrespect to Logan Paul, but I don't think obviously that's what he wants.
Well, I don't think, Seth Rollins did come out and say he does not like Logan Paul. He literally doesn't like him. He'll work with him because this is the thing about Seth. This is why Seth is the guy. He's your guy that should have a run to be the face of the company because he will work with anybody whether or not he fucking likes them.
Behold,
it's not about
barista.
Who you like and who you don't like. It's about who. It's about who. What?
She's not looking forward to this next match.
Oh, this match was. I'm gonna let Heather take this one because I already said my fucking piece on it.
This match destroyed 2 legacies, in my opinion.
Well, it didn't destroy him. What the fuck are they
Ah.
doing? Well, what the fuck are they doing? That's what I want to fucking know.
I wouldn't say
No,
destroy, but
actually, I'm gonna say it destroyed 5 legacies. What the fuck are they doing with Io? What the fuck are they doing with Dakota? And what the fuck are they doing with Bailey?
I think
Because they're burying the fuck out of them 3 for no fucking reason.
okay, so I think on paper, this was a good idea on paper.
Good idea on paper.
However, I will say this for the record, that Damage Control should have never lost the tag titles.
Agreed.
Give us this match, give us the finish to this match, but there's no reason Becky and Lita should be tag team champions. And if you need proof as to why they don't need to be tag team champions, go back and watch the match, and you'll see exactly why I don't think they should be tag team champions.
Lita sucks.
Which, that's understandable. It's not like I'm saying like she was always shitty. I even said before we got on the call here, she hit the moonsault perfectly. Yep. But that was all she did. You could tell it was either age or injury or something going on where just it wasn't clicking. She was just not 100%. Trish, it was a little harder to tell. But she was
for 3 minutes.
She wasn't moving as much, and she wasn't as slow, groggy-ish or whatnot. But what I would have done personally, just my opinion, have Becky and Lita challenge Damage Control for the tag team titles on Raw like they did. Have Damage Control do some shenanigans bullshit that Bayley helps them keep the tag team titles. Trish comes out after the match to level the playing field, but Damage Control still walks to the championships, and then you set up the six-woman tag at Mania. So everybody wins, Damage Control keeps the belts, and the babyfaces get their cock of the walk moment with the legends. Did I do this wrong?
No. What do you mean, did they do this wrong?
Please hold. Did I think I partnered them together wrong?
You carded them
together? Yeah, Becky is part of Damage Control.
I'm okay.
Perfect.
It would have been better.
Actually, maybe not.
I am not.
Yeah, I did.
So
Son of a bitch.
That I had.
I think we can skip this match, right?
What are you doing with Damage Control? Damage Control has been, if you've been watching on a weekly basis, Damage Control has not gone over at all. The only thing that they've gone over on is winning the tag team titles against a fucking team that nobody gave a shit about.
We'll just skip that match. I don't think there's much else to say about it, so I'm not even gonna simulate it.
It was really, that match was really bad, and it made fucking the 3 of them look like, why in the fuck are we even here?
Yeah.
It was bad. And anybody that thought, oh, well, it's helped to get Becky over, Becky's already over. She doesn't need to be over. And if it was to get Trish and Lita over, then what the, they don't need to be over at all. If it really hurt anybody, it hurt Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Like, really bad.
Heather, do you concur?
Mm-hmm.
You okay over there?
Yeah. Just love how he said, he said his piece already, so somebody else can talk.
Go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
That match never should have been in the first place, because before this match even took place, when Becky and Lita were fighting to get the tag team championship belt to begin with, Lita was slow. Lita was shit.
And this is coming from somebody that fucking loves Lita.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this match should not have been. I don't care what anybody else out there thinks. You want a high-profile match, you take Damage Control and you put them up against the younger fucking women. You don't put them up against 2 Hall of Famers that have been retired and not consistent in the ring every year, every day for the last 15 fucking years.
Yep.
You don't do it. I do not fucking care.
Preach, sister.
Bad move by Triple H. This is where Triple H needs to like fuck the old stars.
Well, can I just also say that I don't want women's tag titles.
Agreed.
Agree.
Women's division is not strong enough to carry 3 titles.
This is the problem. This is the problem with we gotta have the same as the men bullshit. It's not needed. It's not warranted, and it's not wanted.
Well,
it's wanted, but it's not wanted by the right people.
If this is not a men versus women thing for me personally. No. It is a matter of, and I am beating a dead fucking horse because I know I've brought this up so many fucking times before on both my channel back in the day and on here numerous times. So apologies to those people in hearing my rant. If you do not have depth in a division, don't have the division. Just don't. It doesn't make any sense to have it. If you have, hey, I'm introducing this championship. How many people can have this championship? 3.
Not worth it.
No, it's not worth it at fucking all. I had the exact same problem with TNA when they introduced their Knockouts tag team titles. Do I think women should get a mid-card and a tag team title? Fuck yeah. If they have enough people who are qualified enough to be able to fucking do it. If you're digging up old dinosaurs to be able to fucking carry a tag team division, then that does not make a tag team division.
The problem with WWE is that they have enough people.
I know they haven't used them properly. That's the
like. I will say this right now. I watched 5 women in NXT and Delivered today actually put out a pretty good match. It's better than anything any of the women did tonight.
Yeah.
Which is why they should have
say that right now.
Which is why they should have never taken away the stipulation of the floating tag titles.
Hell, NXT has women's tag team titles. I forgot about that. I'm like, why? Oh man, I just ripped a really nasty fart. Anyway, enough about these women's tag team titles. Dominic and Rey was awesome.
This match was...
It was better than I was expecting it to be. However, it's also proving that Dominic is not ready to be on his own yet.
No. So, the one thing that I will say is this was a spot fest for me as a parent. If my child came and acted like a fucking fool...
The belt will come out.
So the spot where he takes the belt out and starts whipping Dominic's ass, I think was one of the biggest pops in the match.
That's gonna be a parenting meme, you know that, right? Like that's gonna pop up. It's like,
oh my god, it was so fucking great because I looked at Heather when he did it. I'm like, I've been waiting for this for a month, and I was not a huge fan of Rey Mysterio. I don't hate Rey Mysterio, but I was rooting for Rey Mysterio
because of the fact that this tugged on the parent heartstring. Only thing that was missing from this was his mom reaching in her purse and pulling out that fucking flip-flop.
I was just about to say that.
Every Latino family out there gonna know exactly what I mean.
Just about to fucking say that.
I mean, I was waiting for 2 things. The mother slapping the shit out of Dominic. She slapped him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rey Mysterio whipping his son's ass in the corner. And there's 3, and the sister, which I think she might start getting into things because she took a bump.
Not really.
In this, she did. It was protected by Rey, but she kind of did take a bump. I think she wants to get into it.
She took a bigger bump when she was dating Murphy.
I know. Well, that was the start of it, but this was.
I agree. Dominic not being ready to be on his own. I think this was just this was one of the ones where like the build and the emotion was more carrying everything else, which is why, I mean, Jesus Christ, you had everybody with the fucking kitchen sink coming out here between the Quago Day Phantasma and then what's it called, Judgment Day coming out. I felt like this was a bookend for the end of the rivalry. They're gonna. Well, no. No, I didn't say end. I think I'm sorry, a bookmark. Excuse me, not a bookend. Excuse me, bookmark.
Bookmark.
It's going to continue and it's going to evolve in different forms, and it's obviously with like Bad Bunny and other people getting involved too. So, which I'm fine with. If this is the one-off, then cool. You do it, boom. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Dad. Boom, and then we move on forward.
Dominic needs a little more time.
Agreed.
The thing with Dominic is he did take what was given to him.
Yeah,
he took the beating.
Yeah.
Not just that,
One thing that really fucking pisses me off about this fucking match
like that.
was the opening. That pisses me off too.
Did you just see that?
Actual opening to the match of him showing up in the police wagon.
Okay, so he was in jail for 5 fucking minutes.
I nearly pissed myself laughing.
Okay, this is all about the entrance. This is where WWE takes a backseat to AEW. It's not about the entrances. Everybody wants to see what happens to Dominic, not about what happens when he comes out.
Well,
to the ring. The whole fucking I've been in jail for 5 minutes and now I'm a hardened criminal.
I mean, that's funny shit, dude. Come on, that's a heel blowing something out of proportion. Like,
it's funny.
Yeah.
I get it. But to have the Goldberg entrance is.
I mean, Goldberg wish he had that entrance. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. But on top of that, too, like, it's the same equivalent of, yep, there we go. It's the same equivalent of, like, Dominic's been trying to goat Ray to fight him, right? And then the second Ray punched him, he goes, see, only this kind of dad would beat his own kid. It's like fuck you. Like, it's that kind of same, like, yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about. It's the same kind of, like, I took it at that level. It's like, I've been in jail. I'm a hardened criminal. It's like, You've been in jail once for 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, like, right. It's over exaggeration is a heel thing to do, but like that's the way I looked at it. Like, Ray hits Dominic. He's like, you're not gonna fight me. You're not gonna fucking lay your hands on me. And then he punches him and pushes him. How dare you put your hands on your own son? Like, dick.
So, Aaron, I think there should only be, if anything, there should be one world title for the women. And one tag team title. They have enough women, they just haven't built enough around it to do so.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's all I will say. The knockouts, the only reason that they did it is because WWE was getting ready to fucking do with the Divas title. That's why they did what they did.
I was there when they got rid of the Divas title, and Jesus Christ, can I say you how fucking loud the place popped? I'm like, nope, we're getting rid of the women's title. Fucking Raw. Or the Divas title. Fucking Raw.
Get super.
We have each 3,600 go in there. Use that. It'll be better than Super Glue.
It's alright. That's what happens when you have a 4-year-old. What are you going to do?
No, actually, I think it's supposed to constantly move the chair over there and heading up.
That might be it. That might be my fault. I broke the eagle. Eagle down.
It's just the tips of the wings broke off.
Just the tip.
It's okay.
I just noticed it as well as a thumbtack sitting on the floor over there. So that would have been great.
So, again, I'm not a huge fan of Rey Mysterio, but this match I can buy because he's beating the shit out of his son.
That's a great selling point. I want you, please.
I was waiting, and Gina said it in the chat. She was waiting for this match. I was too, but I don't want to see Rey Mysterio taking on fucking all white in a fucking match for a world title. Ever.
Well, anyway, but
I have a problem with Rey Mysterio. Yes, he broke the mold, and he said it in his speech last night. I broke the mold of what a superstar should be, but do we really see you beating a 500-pound guy? I don't think that's.
And now your favorite match is happening.
Okay. Here's where I have a problem with this match.
They're women.
No. I was all for this match happening if the roles were switched.
Okay.
Rhea needs to get away from the fucking Judgment Day. Get her away from them now.
Well, I think this will do it.
She is the world champion. Spoilers. The way that they built this was babyface versus heel, backwards. I'm gonna ask backwards shit.
Ooh. Okay. Hold that thought for a second. Heather, your thoughts on this match?
I am a fan of Rhea. I don't care what you say.
I am
Same
too.
Z.
I love Rhea. I just don't like the way she looks.
A lot of the things that were done in this match, yes, she could have done better. However,
she's great.
However, there were a couple of spots that Charlotte fucked up.
That Charlotte what?
That Charlotte fucked up. She jumped too hard.
Well, there was a reason why, though, Heather, and I said it.
Go ahead.
So the only thing that I will say, there was a couple of spots. Charlotte carried this match, and she had to, because Rhea is not ready. Rhea's not ready to be the man, so to speak. The one spot where Charlotte landed on her face, Charlotte over flipped. If that makes sense. You know what I'm talking about.
So
she overcompensated because Rhea was just like, oh, I'm just gonna get into this match and go with the flow and let Charlotte do her thing. And then Rhea seemed to, okay, I need to pick up my shit. Rhea finally picks it up. What is Charlotte supposed to think? Communication is key inside the ring, right? This is where I think that Rhea needs to work on her in-ring ability. Because I've always said, speaking, carrying a match, and in-ring ability are the three major things that you need in order to be a champion. Rhea's got two of them. She needs to work on the third one, and this would be that third one. Now, that's where I had a problem with Rhea in this match. She's not quite ready yet. Bianca Belair is the same fucking thing. She's not quite ready yet. But yet, here we are. That's all. I'll let Heather introduce that.
I actually enjoyed this match.
Again, I didn't hate it. I just don't understand why WWE's just like, we gotta pull the trigger. You don't have to. If she's not ready, don't do it.
Well, I think I know why, but
why they did I know why they did it. But this hurt her down the road. Because I've seen it. I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. Okay? Over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
These kinds of things will hurt her down the road if she doesn't fix them. If she's like, well, I'm the man now, I beat the man. This is why they kept putting the title back on Ric Flair, because the guy that they thought was ready really wasn't ready. This is why they keep putting the title back on Charlotte.
But that's a little ass backwards then. Then what? Is that why they pulled it off of Ronda?
Ronda's definitely not. The only reason that they put the title on Ronda is because of her name.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about what I'll say about the match then. The build was confusing, and I think that was a big part of the disconnect in this matchup. Rhea, I think, is more over than
100%. Agree.
With
100%
let me get to that part though in a second. Sorry, Heather, you were saying that you noticed there were like little parts in this match that were just like little like mistakes here and there from Charlotte.
She overjumped.
Right. But
as she always does with her moonsaults.
That's a given.
If you notice with every single one of her moonsaults, whether they be the corkscrew one or just a little bit off the top rope one, she always lands on her feet, so they should never hurt anybody.
Yeah,
right.
But here's the thing, Heather, and I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. Don't you think that's because she thinks she has to overcompensate? And yes, I get the Charlotte thing, but Rhea Ripley showed tonight, I'm just here to be here because I know I'm winning, because I am as over as Charlotte is. I am the man. I'm going to be the man. This is the problem that I have with Rhea. She has got to fix how she works inside the ring.
So what's the issue?
She needs to fix anything else.
Okay. So what exactly did you have with her in-ring stuff that was the problem?
She was just lazy. She was lazy in the ring. At the beginning of this match, Charlotte was doing everything.
Right, which she should have.
There were things like the... I'm trying to think. I have to go back and watch the match.
So I think this is just me. I think the biggest thing that didn't do this match any favors at all was the build.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Because both of them were technically heels, but yet they were building off the story of, which I think they should have done this off of the get-go, is have Rhea away from Judgment Day, focus completely on Charlotte, and retell the story of 3 years ago you beat me for the NXT Women's Championship. Now I'm not, and they said it numerous times in the commentary, I'm not the same woman I was 3 years ago, which she isn't.
No, she's not.
But the choreography in the match, not always, but in certain circumstances, didn't click with that narrative that they wanted.
I didn't see Rhea be equal to what Charlotte can bring.
Now, that being said, I personally think Rhea is ready. I think that there's two other just my opinion, but there's two other factors to take into consideration here when it comes to this match. The first is, and I could be very wrong on this, this was one of Charlotte's first big matches back since she won the title, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
So now I know it was an injury. She was off getting married to Andrade El Flario, but that's part of it. The other part of it is, except for that NXT Championship match at Mania, these two haven't really worked with each other, and sometimes styles just don't clash well. They just don't.
I would have much rather had Bianca Belair versus Rhea. I don't know why they went with this match.
I don't either.
I would have much rather have had Charlotte versus Asuka again.
Like, I think Rhea could do a very solid match with Bayley. I think that she could do a very solid match with Becky. I think she could do a solid match with a good chunk of the women's roster. But for Charlotte, I think that their styles, and more specifically their body types too, just wouldn't clash. There we go. Same result. I thought it was... First, I know you said you weren't a fan of the women's match. First and foremost, let's all agree, leaps and bounds over the fucking 6-woman tag.
Oh, fuck it. Well, okay. So I just didn't like the way that they, again, with the build to the match, they just made a mention of it, and then we're just going to roll with it. Because that's essentially what they did. And then they're making Rhea out to be this badass, and she just didn't look the part tonight. I mean, if you've watched over the last, since the Royal Rumble,
she hasn't had many matches.
That's the problem. And that's the part of the problem. They put Rhea, they fucking had her with fucking Dominic because they're worried about the fucking Dominic versus Ray bullshit than actually having her be the Royal Rumble winner. I would have much rather had Asuka win the fucking Royal Rumble, take on Charlotte, have Rhea Ripley, and I get it why they did fucking Rhea Ripley.
No.
But it makes no sense.
Sorry.
The Rhea Ripley versus Bianca would have legitimately been, you probably could have switched Bianca because she's a better heel than she is. I just did not care for this match as far as the decision WWE made. I think Charlotte should have retained because you do have backlash. Either that or fucking have Rhea turn babyface. Get away from the fucking Judgment Day. That's where I had a real problem with it.
Ugh, I can't do two titles. Motherfuckers.
They should have had him just in there as undisputed.
It's fine. I have a way around this.
That's the fault of the designers of this fucking game.
Well, how are they supposed to know that the Samoans would come in and fucking take everything?
Well, it happened before this happened.
Again, I didn't hate the match. I just hated the decision. That's all. It didn't make sense. The decision being who's the babyface and who's the heel, because everybody was booing Charlotte, cheering Rhea.
Because they're sick of seeing Charlotte as champion.
But WWE, that's the only reason they're fucking booing Charlotte. The WWE's fucking just like, well, we're gonna boo Charlotte just because she's been champion 14 times. Ric Flair was champion 16 times, but you fucking cheer the shit out of him. I don't get the fuck.
That was gonna be my other point. Was I think the only reason they had Charlotte be the one is because they wanted to. She's essentially the measuring stick, right? If you want to make it big, or if you want to make it, a big deal, then.
Well, okay, and I will say this: they failed that. They made Rhea look as minor league in my eyes with the way that match went, as you can possibly make her the first time her and Charlotte faced off. You definitely wasn't ready the first time, and she definitely wasn't ready this time.
So, JP, I know you weren't a fan of the match, but Heather, tell me if you think this is the way I felt of it. It took a while to get the steam rolling. I think that it took a little longer for them to click. Once they got their groove and they started going towards the end, I think it picked up. But how do you feel?
I agree. Yes, it took a while for it to get to the point where it needed to get because of the fact that, one, Rhea is used to doing promos or multi-person matches.
Yeah.
She's not used to singles matches anymore. That's where they failed Rhea. Rhea didn't fail. They failed Rhea.
Yeah.
I will agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that part too. Is that they could have, to JP's point, it's you basically have her, for lack of a better word, like a background character.
It made Rhea look not ready. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Okay, I want to make this point very clear. I don't like the way she dressed.
You hate women in general. I get you. No, it's fine.
I hate fuck women.
Yeah, it's why I have two of them in your house. I
actually like Rhea because I think she has it. I said this when she was in NXT. I think she is the next step. Build it. Don't just have it. Build it.
Yeah.
That's my problem with Rhea.
You know who has it though, or did have it, was the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Oh my God, this match was great.
This is freaking phenomenal.
This is a 5-star match. I don't know what the fuck Dave Meltzer's thinking about.
Who pinned who again? Just remind me.
The right people pinned the right people.
And by the way, the only reason I said that is because
the wrong person pinned the wrong person.
Oh my God, you're gonna fucking get strangled. Well, no, the only reason I say that is because if it's Triple H booked, that's something he would do.
You couldn't go wrong with this match. I will say that right fucking now.
Yeah.
You couldn't go wrong with this match, no matter what they fucking.
But knowing Triple H was the one that booked it, that's why I said it had to end with Sammy pinning Jay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason I said that whole thing. But I'll let you guys talk about this match first because oh my God.
I'm invested in this match. I'm invested in this story.
Oh God.
The overarching storyline for this entire match and this entire group right here.
I have said this ever since I started doing wrestling on YouTube. I have been waiting for a storyline like this in wrestling for
a week,
probably 35 years. I will go back to Sting, or I will go back to Dusty Rhodes and fucking Ric Flair when they had their feud. Name me a storyline that you were so invested in the fucking babyface beating and destroying the heel faction as Dusty Rhodes beating. And this is culminating because this should happen tomorrow, will it? I don't know. This is the start of that. But this is part of it.
So,
the story like Magnum TA and whoever else with the tag team titles, because Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson are tag team champions.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of thing that wrestling misses, and this is where Triple H has been so.
Speaking of misses,
good.
The only one I can think of in recent memory was Sting in the NWO. In terms of build, I'm not saying execution. I'm saying build.
Yes, but the execution of
was a fart in the wind.
A fart in the wind. This execution is what that story should have been.
Yep. Yes.
Because we know that in 1997 Starrcade,
yep.
that's where the popcorn fart in church that it's so eloquently used in wrestling.
Yep.
I fucking love what they're fucking doing with this storyline.
Yeah.
I can't even explain how Heather's seen me. I'm like sitting there like this, like waiting to see what.
It's old school. It's old school.
Sitting there like this. I'm invested. I have missed this in wrestling for 35 years ish, and I'm 50. This is so good. So fucking good.
Heather, do you concur?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You can say whatever the fuck you want. I'm sorry. I love this storyline.
He's just coming off the excitement of the women's match. I get it.
Yeah. Don't shush me.
Does JP have a button on him lower than mute?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's full volume or shutting up.
So what did you think of this match?
This match was definitely something worth being invested in with the storyline and the long-term booking they've had for it so far. It's definitely something worth being invested in because now we get to see where it goes from here. You know, you're going to get that moment of, well, Sika and Roman, you weren't there for us. Why should we be out there for you if something goes wrong with you and Cody?
Yes. Sorry, continue. There's something that just popped in my head about that, but I wanted to let you finish first.
Yeah, I was half expecting Cody to come out at the end of this match and congratulate them after everything was said and done.
I'm glad everybody stayed away.
Yes.
Very glad. What I was saying before we got on here was one thing that I would love to see, spoilers, is if Roman loses tomorrow, if they do a 6-man tag on Raw, where it's the Usos, Roman against Cody, Kevin, and Sammy, the babyfaces win, and Jimmy and Jay and Solo just walk away from Roman.
I'm wondering if they do something like that and just slowly during the match
back off.
Roman walked away from Roman. You get first you get Jay, who if Roman's reaching out for that hand, reaching out for that hot tag.
Yep.
First it's Jay that jumps down and says no, and then leave.
Yep. That's why I think Raw is gonna be fucking lit. I think it's gonna be fantastic. I was originally saying like, what if they all beat the shit out of Roman? But that's not that. No, they'd probably just walk away.
Yeah.
But continue your thoughts on the match.
No, I agree with you. I am glad everybody stayed away. I mean, at first watching it, there was a couple of members of production coming down the ramp, and he was like, "Oh, there's nobody important." Relax. When those two guys started coming down the ramp during this match, you.
We were saying how we were glad nobody interfered and nobody showed up.
During this match, when you were clearly able to see the ramp and you just saw two random production crew members walking down the ramp. But at first you couldn't tell who they were because one of them was going like this, like it was Paul Heyman, putting on his suit jacket.
I don't remember that.
I do. You should too, because you sat there and you went, "Oh, here we go with this."
But
he said that's literally nobody important.
We were both just exclaiming how we're glad that like nobody showed up, nobody like did any like nobody on either side.
Interfering into the match.
So here's the thing. I will say this right now, and I said this, and I said this to Heather tonight. The only way that I can buy this being on night one is if something happens tomorrow night. This is the way I would book this. This is me fantasy booking. They did this on SmackDown last night, where they said, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens said this to both the Usos last night. Roman doesn't give a fuck about it. He only cares about himself.
Yep.
He's only using you to get what he wants or to keep what he has, which is true.
Right.
And if you can't see it, I don't know what the fuck you're watching, because if you paid attention to Jay and his mannerisms, he gets it. He understands it.
Oh shit, DDT coming up.
But he understands that this is my blood. This is my brother. This is my cousin. We grew up together. Do I really buy into what Sammy's telling me? So the whole point is, if Cody is going to win, it's not going to be by clean. It's not going to be clean. Jay and Jimmy are going to cost Roman the match, which is what should happen. I'm saying it now. Whether people like it or fucking not, that's what should happen. Which will build to the fucking SummerSlam where Jimmy and Jay and Solo fucking destroy Roman and he goes away.
Let's close count out.
They're doing so that's the only way I'd buy. I really would have wished that this match kicked off night 2. And then you build to it. But it was a great spot for them to main event it, because it only gives people 17 hours to, oh my God.
Yep.
It's going to happen tomorrow night. You know what I mean?
I was saying to Heather while you were stepping out that I think what I wouldn't mind seeing happening is Raw comes on. You have your 6-man tag, which Owen, Zayn, and Cody against Roman and the Usos. And that's where you see them walk away. Because Roman's going to take extended time off once he drops the belts, right? So if you want to plant the seed for a reason for him to come back and be rip shit and bullshit, all you have to do is create a very brief moment. It doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be like them leaving mid-match. They could lose the match, or Roman could get pinned or something, and he could just like snap at them, and they just walk away. That simple.
The problem that I have with Roman destroying both of the Usos is I want Jay to be the one that finishes him off.
Well, he doesn't have to do. I'm saying he doesn't have to do anything physically. You can just say walk away.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that I get, but I would have it start at WrestleMania. I would have them.
Well, if they're gonna be in LA anyway for Raw, fuck it.
I would have them turn on Roman at fucking. But then you're turning Roman babyface.
No. Who's turning who?
You need him to be a heel.
Pretty quo.
Babyface.
Not if he turns on them at WrestleMania.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow then.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I just
such a good job. You just don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
No.
Going into the main event tonight, I didn't know if they were gonna pull the trigger. This is the unpredictability of this storyline has been so good. So good.
I just heard like Roman. I just heard Kevin like moaning in the ring. That's just too real for me. A little too. Like,
I will say this. You know what match I think should happen next year? Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. But you know who fuck. There's somebody, we'll get to his match, but there's somebody who I saw do an interview about his match at WrestleMania that's happening tomorrow that I never heard him do a sit-down interview very candidly with, I think it was with Ariel Awani for BT Sports. And he spoke very, like, you know how, like, Cody's very good at interviews, like, for press release, you know, they're you can clearly see that, like, it's either him doing well or they're kind of grooming / coaching him to be, like, the next big, like, I'm going to carry WWE, blah, 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 all that bullshit. Not saying he's going to be John Cena, but you can tell that he's, like, getting ready to be, like, the poster child in a sense. But this person who I'm speaking about was talked about his match, and he goes, well, what are your plans? What do you see in the future for WrestleMania 40? And just the way that he carried himself during the conversation makes me want him so fucking badly to be world champion in a year, and that's fucking Gunther. Gunther carried himself so... I said, JP, I get your trepidation. Go listen to his interview. It's very brief, and just something about the way he carried himself, I'm like, fuck, now I want him to retain.
I don't think that's happening.
No,
no.
No.
You know what I think WWE could do at some point? Have Sheamus and Drew McIntyre as the main event at WrestleMania.
Maybe. Wait, is this going to end in the exact same way? Holy shit, Sammy just pinned Jay.
So the thing about this match,
that's
how
funny.
many Hallelujah kicks did Sammy
Three.
do?
3.
Was it? Yeah, I thought it was
over the whole match? Like 4
or 5. Yeah, there was more than that. But
Sami Zayn was getting the fuck beat out of him. Like,
yeah,
Kevin Owens was missing, and this is why it was so good. The thing was with the Sami Zayn taking a fucking beating, and we talked about this before we got on here. Sami Zayn literally should have died in this match.
Yeah. Oh, the belt's inside his shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna have blending issues with the belts.
All right, I'm all for that shit. Okay.
What was the one thing that I said?
Well, that was night 1. So what should you do for night 2?
Comparing Austin Theory to MJF.
Oh, here's the thing. There was a couple of things. So, I'm sorry. Well, I told you you're going to have to remind me.
Well, we already passed the match that we were supposed to talk about it.
I know. Well, the thing was, Austin Theory, there was a spot in the match with the dumping of the Johnny Gargano match.
Yeah.
You never did that one.
We're not
that
doing
was one fucking stand and delivered.
NXT.
No, that's so. Austin Theory's a better MJF.
Yeah, okay.
The one thing that I will say, I watched Stand and Deliver today, and the great thing about Stand and Deliver is they did a spot. No, it was the Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio and Dominic. He threw a cup of water in his
sister. Instead of fucking throwing some random kid and not knowing what the fuck he was doing.
We're jumping shows, brands, all sorts of shit. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you notice that, it was a pot shot. So WWE throws out little fucking pot shots. And if you don't like it, who gives a fuck? AEW's been doing it for 4 years. Why not at WrestleMania, right? I just wanted to point that out.
All right, so we're now...
His sister. Somebody who he knew.
Well, I understand that, but that's how you do that spot. You don't just fucking throw water on a random fucking kid who's a fan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I like that.
We're now going to do the match that everybody is looking forward to the most at WrestleMania.
Night 2, yeah.
Are you going to literally do this now? Save it for tomorrow, but it's fine.
I get this garbage match out of the way, and then we'll do the other matches tomorrow.
NXT. NXT was actually I'm like, NXT sucks. It's not like it used to be. Actually, I watched that today, and I've been watching NXT. I think you might need to start watching it again.
How many drinks have you had?
6, 7.
Heather held up her hand right next to you, and you didn't even.
We got one more left.
I had to help him do the math.
I literally think NXT.
Their next premium live event's actually two towns over from me.
I would get, if you haven't, if you can, check it out. I know people are like, well, NXT isn't. It's turned into that fucking.
Well, it makes sense why they put the belt on Carmelo Hayes then, because Carmelo Hayes is from this area.
Carmelo Hayes.
But I know he deserves it, and I know how good he is.
The only issue I had with Carmelo Hayes winning is I don't know if he's ready.
Yeah.
I know that Monday you're probably going to see Braun Breaker on fucking Raw.
So I'm not really going to talk about the Brock Lesnar Omos match because I don't think any of us give a shit. Is it
a garbage match?
I'm going to ask.
It's going to be a garbage match. It's one of those spot fests.
It's a garbage match.
It's a garbage match. I get it, but it's Brock Lesnar.
It's two big men.
Money.
It's two big meaty men bumping meat. That's what it is. It's Vince's.
I heard that about 15 times today.
Because it's fucking true. So two things I'll add to this match. One's related to this match. One's not related to this match. The first is this Brock's last match?
No.
I hope not either. I'm actually a big fan.
He'll take a little break.
Yeah, as he always does.
But his contract's not up yet.
Okay, thank Christ.
I'm not saying his contract's not up, but I don't think this.
It might
Brock
be.
Lesnar will ever go anywhere ever, and I don't say ever, but I don't think he'll ever leave WWE.
I think he re-signed twice.
Imagine if he showed up in AEW.
God, no, he would never. What were you gonna say, Heather?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I was trying to get him to shut up so you could talk.
I don't think he'll go anywhere else. And it's funny because he didn't. This is a long time ago. In 2006, 2007, TNA tried to get him, and nope. The only question.
If he goes anywhere to do anything other than WWE, he will go back to Minnesota College and coach Minnesota University and coach there.
I don't think
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can get. I don't think he can get cleared by UFC anymore. So I don't think that's happening.
I know he's already an honorary coach there.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck that.
Why wouldn't he get cleared? I'm just asking.
I'm gonna take a quick poop because that's appropriate for this match. Is he facing the back of the can? Fucking dumbass. Yeah.
It's the flag of his country.
Cool. I'm gonna take a quick poop. I'll be right back.
That is awesome.
It'll be quick, I promise.
The basement poop. I get it.
Or at least attempt to.
Yeah. I don't Brock Lesnar.
That's basically how this is gonna go.
No, it's not. He's gonna do it, and he's gonna stand up to it. I will say that much. Brock Lesnar, I don't know why people shit on him. He is the reason why wrestling is still a thing today.
It's because he went through such extreme part-timeism that I just got annoyed with him just randomly showing up and winning.
Get it, but the guy can do it all.
We know this.
He can draw money, he can wrestle, and give him somebody that he, like, do you really think, and I'm saying this now, we're sitting here watching, do you think he really gives a shit about wrestling almost?
No, he doesn't want to, I can tell you that much too. I can tell you right now, he's not going to sell very much for almost either.
No, and he shouldn't. Because why the fuck should he? Well, because he's 7'4", 415 pounds? I don't give a shit.
I mean, he's throwing him around like he's fucking 2 pounds right now.
I mean, he didn't sell for the big show. Ever. Only when he had to because he was still under contract. I guarantee it. If Brock Lesnar was to wrestle the big show today, he'd be like, this guy, I fucking run circles around. Brock Lesnar can run circles around fucking a guy his size at the age of 23. That's how good fucking Brock Lesnar is. Go ahead and argue it.
Because you are at this like permanent buffering zone where everything you say you are right, everybody else is wrong.
I'm always
at this point.
I'm always right.
See what I deal with, folks? Do you see what I deal with?
I'm always right. Just it's okay. I mean, goddamn.
I mean, he's sold without a problem for Keith Lee.
Well, just because he'll work with somebody if they're willing to work with him. Do you think Omos would want to fucking sell to Brock Lesnar? No, because Omos thinks that because he's big, he's that good.
Hey, DJ Curtis. And Omos is extremely happy to be in the position he's in right now, considering he got his start as a bouncer for Raw Underground.
But he was a basketball player before that.
Well, I mean,
again,
the Road Warriors were also.
I don't think Omos looks like one of those guys that thinks he is where he's at because he is that good.
He is extremely happy to be where he is at right now because he was a bouncer for a doorway.
Yeah, he's Kali.
I'm just telling you, I literally think Omos thinks he is that good.
Well,
he thinks he's that
No,
good.
that's fine. If he wants to think he's that good.
If you have watched his mannerisms, he thinks he's that good.
Well, okay. You have to remember what character he's playing too.
Thank you.
Because he's essentially
undefeated at the moment.
So he literally doesn't need MVP.
Well, I disagree with that. He needs a mouthpiece.
I think he does, but I think literally Omos thinks that he is as good as he thinks he is.
Well, just remember.
He's talking as if he's actually sat down and had a conversation with Omos, the person, and not Omos, the character.
I would say I don't know Omos from his character at all. Don't tell me he's gonna fucking beat Brock.
Right.
Don't tell me he's gonna fucking beat Brock. Ah, thank God. By the way, that
Brock Lesnar could run around a 23-year-old himself.
I think again, I don't know Omos. I don't know him as a person. I think he's playing up the character because that's what he's trying to portray. Is it's like I'm this untouchable, tallest giant in the fucking world. I'm gonna fuck your shit.
Way too hard then.
What's that?
He's trying way too hard.
Well, that might be up to his inexperience as well. But
his inexperience or just this one's poor perception.
No, because I watch it.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Like I said, poor perception.
He's my number one.
You're gonna draft him to number one to fucking NWA, aren't you? You're gonna make him your fucking NWA World's Champion. By the way, can I just say I don't know if it's, I don't watch weekly, right? But apparently fans of Omos, they're calling the Homo sapiens online.
I believe you're correct on that one. Yes.
That shit's gonna fucking.
I heard Jim Cornette or Brian Last mention it on either the Experience or the Drive-Thru.
That shit's gonna catch. That shit's gonna catch on fire and it's gonna spread like wildfire.
I love Jim Cornette's name for him.
Almost.
It fits.
Almost. Yes, it does. But I saw like where my Homo sapiens at, and you saw the video I sent you guys in the chat where like somebody made like versions of Omos like in the game. That shit's gonna catch on, and he's gonna fucking blow the fuck up. I'm not saying he's gonna be fucking world champion, but good. That's the right result.
He will be another. He is going to be another Big Show in Kali.
Well, Big Show
caught on for a while there. He had some fans that made him last as long as he did.
Big Show?
Yes.
Big Show
is better.
Okay, so, and it's coming up because I'm watching the Attitude Era and Monday Nitro kind of shit going on.
Having fun with that bottle there?
I'm rewatching it. I'm reliving my glory days.
He's trying to take the cozy off, but doesn't want to come on.
I think he's doing more than that, you know what I'm saying?
I'm OCD right now.
I think you're making the bottle very cozy.
Hey, Big Show when he came to WWE initially.
I'm listening. I'm just gonna look up Hikura Shida for Heather. No, I think about this.
By God, I thought they were gonna push him and have him because he was working with Stone Cold. I thought for sure they were gonna push him, and then Vince showed his true colors. I just like a big guy, and
he fit the mold, and he was tired of WCW.
But Big Show was a big thing. Big Show could go.
Yeah.
Well, so Vince has always had a hard-on for like larger than life specimen athletes, which
because they were trying to build the Andre the Giant thing. But there's only one Andre the Giant.
Just like there's only one Big Show. Like there's only one Great Khali.
So the only thing though is I think whoa shit I just dropped my fucking everything.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay.
Frog.
There we go. No, I like dropped my controller, which like knocked my fucking things up my heads, my earbuds out. So that was fun. I think. Let me just see how this Akira Shida looks. One of her outfits is her in a suit.
She has. If you've watched AEW, she does.
Let me see if there's another one I can pull up.
That one's head looked a little weird.
Same fucking thing. Kushida. That's
the Gianna. Who the fuck is Gianna? Oh, that looks nothing like.
Yeah, they all look the same. All right, maybe I'll give a little more time.
People are trying. Ooh, well, this one you can't.
The
see
one picture there.
The one that you're pointing to that I can't see where you're pointing to.
She's holding the kendo stick behind her head, so you're on the same. Yep, that one.
Body might be. That's better.
I'll take it for now. If worst case scenario, we can always update things. Big Show got better, and he knew he knew how to work around his limitations, whereas other guys like Khali and Omos are like, and Giant Gonzalez is in the same fucking boat of like, I'm a muscle on sticks with like skinny legs. I'm not gonna get off my feet. Rawr. That was the extent of the character.
Arnett was even saying with Gonzalez, it's like he barely spoke any English when he first showed up, so trying to teach him anything was a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, so...
The thing with Giant Gonzalez, though, and I will say this...
Sorry, we just reconnected. You said...
You heard it from the guys that actually knew how the business worked and how to wrestle. Sting didn't know how to wrestle. He's a fucking bodybuilder. Sting, for the better part of his... He didn't even... He got into the business, but for everybody that thinks Sting is an icon, he was only for the... And I love Sting. Let's get that clear. 100%. I love Sting. I always have. Always will. But Sting is not one of those guys that I would say, yeah, let's build a brand around him. I would not. It would be Ric Flair. They kept putting the title on Ric Flair. There's a reason why Sting didn't stay world champion. Because, yeah, Ric Flair was a heel, but he was just better. It's hard to explain.
Sorry, I have way too many championship belts.
I hear you. It's hard to explain. When it comes to who has it, there are very few in the world of wrestling that have it. So when I put my top 5 of all time, Hulk Hogan's one.
So it's
only because his star power was just that much.
So for you, it's Hogan, Giant Gonzalez, Omos, Great Khali, and Harvey Whippleman.
My top 5 is actually Ric Flair.
Okay, valid.
Hulk Hogan.
Valid.
I would say Stone Cold.
Valid.
Bruno Sammartino.
Valid.
And Luthez.
All right, all good picks. By the way, Bruno is in the game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't tell you about that story. Then I want to hear Heather's top 5 real quick. So
there's gonna be a bunch of Luthez. Is Luthez in the game? Because if Luthez in the game, there's gonna be a bunch of Luthez presses.
You know what? Let me see if
you don't have to do it.
Let me see if he's in the downloaded. Heather, who would you say are your top 5?
Ric Flair.
Valid.
Stone Cold.
Valid.
Because of the generation I grew up in,
yep,
I have to go with The Undertaker.
Yes.
I don't hate The Undertaker.
Well, hold on. So you said Flair, Taker, Austin. And who are the other two? God, someone made Andrew Tate.
If you go with the Undertaker, you have to go with The Rock.
Well, she can go with whoever she wants.
I know that, but
right.
Come on.
No, I'm actually gonna go with Dusty Rhodes.
He actually, you know what? I would go with him too.
And my last one, probably, and even though he's not a wrestler,
here's that match.
Yeah, I still missed it because
it's just this was happened on Friday. Go ahead.
And my last one, and even though he's not a wrestler, I have to go with Eric Bischoff.
Ooh.
I can't. As far as promoters go, I cannot disagree with Eric Bischoff. If it wasn't for Eric Bischoff, I don't know where storyline wrestling would be.
I was very happy he went in the Hall of Fame. I was very happy he went in the Hall of Fame. You know, I think
I just noticed Nick Khan was actually out in the audience, saying hello to people. Just now for this match.
Vince and Eric Bischoff have
Hi, I'm not Tony. Hi, I'm not Tony.
Transcended the wrestling business.
I said this on a podcast years ago. I said, I think they should induct into if they're going to do it in the Celebrity Hall of Fame, Celebrity Wing in the Hall of Fame, fucking induct Ted Turner.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
If there's resistance on everything, they wouldn't have had the ratings battles.
And if it wasn't for him,
WCW wouldn't have existed.
I don't know if WCW, for what it was in the 80s, wrestling, even though Vince probably would have taken it somewhere, would wrestling be where it is today? Because
probably not.
I think Ted Turner's very, him and Vince are very transcendent. But Eric Bischoff, I don't know where storyline wrestling could be without Eric Bischoff today. And everybody's like, oh, but he ruined WCW.
No, he did not. Are you fucking kidding me? He
ruin
saved
WCW.
it.
It wasn't his fault. What killed WCW was Turner. Not Ted Turner, but the company itself.
Turner Time Warner.
Yes.
Turner, because they did not want fucking... The people that worked for Ted didn't want wrestling to begin with.
Yep.
Ted Turner loved wrestling. That's why wrestling was on TV. Because of Ted Turner. And if it wasn't for Ted Turner, Vince McMahon would have probably stayed on some random fucking channel.
Well, no. Well, don't forget Black Saturday.
Yeah.
What's Black Saturday? You have to...
Okay, so here's a fun little story. So, and forgive me, JP, I'll be saying stuff you already know. So obviously back in the Jim Crockett Promotions was the most successful NWA territory in the Mid-Atlantic region. The big
it was Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yep. It was based out of the Mid-Atlantic area, but Jim Crockett Promotions was basically the supplier. But yeah, exactly. So the reason they blew up was because they were on the TBS Superstation because it was built out of Atlanta, right? You know, right?
I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, what happened was somehow when Vince was doing his expansion, and he did the thing where he went to every single promoter and said, "I will buy you out." He bought out Georgia Championship Wrestling out from Jim Crockett Promotions. And so for a brief moment, there was a moment where technically under the World Championship Wrestling umbrella, the content that was being provided was Vince. It was Georgia Championship Wrestling, but it was technically Vince's WWF. And so it was the only time that WWF programming, technically speaking, was aired on a Turner network, which that was referred to as Black Saturday. Was the day Vince's product was on. It was basically WWF. Here's World Championship Wrestling brought to you by WWF. Yep. And then
I know exactly. They've talked about that on the Monday Night Wars.
I actually just watched the WCW documentary last weekend, so that's why I was like, oh yeah.
I watched it too. I've been watching documentaries lately. Not even just on wrestling, but just in general. But yeah, it's like, so wrestling back in the 80s and 90s was, storyline driven because it wasn't. They only had an hour, and that's where everybody gets this promo bullshit. If Connor, if you understand what I'm talking about,
yep.
You see these promos that happen like during shows, and you see wrestling 15 minutes, 20 minutes at a time. WWE decided, well, we'll do a bunch of fucking promos. We'll do a storyline where we're just going to turn it into a fucking soap opera and have a match that lasts 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and build around that. But we're going to build it around the storylines and the promos.
Well, Vince...
And that's what I see. Now, Vince did a really good job in the 90s. Because he had to. Because if it wasn't for that, and this is why I say Eric Bischoff, if it wasn't for storyline-driven wrestling, he actually took a storyline and said, well, we're going to draw it out for 2 fucking hours. We're going to build around that storyline, and we're going to keep building around it. Then the problem began where it became, well, we got to build around NWO, and the NWO is going to be what the show is about. End of story. You know where the story ended up going. That's the way I see it.
You're in the ballpark. What I think happened was Vince took the concept of regional promotions, because like regional territories, and the NWA included, would do storylines that were very they weren't short. It was just that there were multifacets to them that could be dragged out for a long period of time. I use the Von Erichs and the Freebirds as an example of this because it's the best one I can think of. You know that the Freebirds and the Von Erichs hate each other. Well, you could do one night where it's one member of the Von Erich.
I'm just going to say this right now.
Yep.
That's another storyline that was so fucking good.
Oh yeah, there was a tons in the territories, but to my point is that you could drag that out for so long. We could do like tag matches, 6-man tag. Do this. You could do so many things in the course of a year based off of just knowing the general concept of these two teams or groups or people, whatever, don't like each other. ECW did something very similar in when they were first starting, where they would have Raven versus Tommy Dreamer, but then things would like foil off from that rivalry that would incorporate other people and just build from there. Regional promotions did that very easily because they didn't have television, so they had no other way to like really showcase you, hey, these people hate each other, X, Y, and Z, and they would only do that off of like print. There was no other way to do it. So when Vince did the TV stuff, and Jim Crockett Promotions and WCCW and a couple of others to an extent, the promos would mostly just be for like, we're coming to your town and I'm doing this and I'm going to beat up so-and-so. It was like the old syndication stuff. Vince had bigger platforms, so he was able to carry things longer and make people bigger stars on a national platform. So it's kind of a mix of both. He was able to do a little bit of both, where he was able to like weave a little bit more, like example being Andre Hogan. It was a very simple thing where Andre came out, did the thing on the Piper's Pit, and then did the contract signing, which, by the way, that's still one of my favorite contract signings of all time, because Andre's cool as a cucumber, and you see Hogan's about to shit himself, which rightfully fucking so. Stuff like that is just simple things, but it gets the message across of...
So I think a missed opportunity with WWE and the Roman and Cody thing is doing a contract signing. I think a contract signing would have been fucking fantastic.
I wouldn't have done it in the ring.
No, I would have done it backstage.
I would have done it just as a vignette.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would have done it differently, because I'm generally not a huge fan of contract signings, because I feel like they've been over fucking drawn.
I'm not either.
But
because because when it happens inside the ring, you know where it's going.
Yeah, of course, it's always a fucking flip the table.
One contract signing that I did think did a really good job, and that was in NXT recently, was Grayson Waller versus Braun Breaker. There was no interact. There was no, hey, we're gonna have the table flip over on top of you. It was
Rats.
an actual contract signing. It was actually really good.
No, I'm just teasing.
And but when it goes in the ring, it's like, oh, we're gonna beat the fuck out of each other, and that kind of ruins.
Yeah, it kind of takes away from it, but that's the way. So like what Bischoff did was he did something a little bit. He did something a little bit. Well, he did a lot of things differently. He literally said that he did, like, I watched Raw and I wrote down a list of everything they did in every way I could be the exact opposite. They're taped, I'm live. They're very cartoonish, I'm very real. Blah, 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 blah. But one thing that Bischoff did a little bit better than Vince did at the time was that, not always and not every single time, but he tried to make you give a shit about every match and every moment that happened on his programming.
Yeah, and then it got to here's the thing, and I've noticed this, a lot of his matches, and they did talk about this on the Monday Night Wars. More of the cruiserweight matches were showcased on Monday Nitro.
Yep.
Well, they were using,
which is why you're seeing the wrestling you're seeing today, because that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see the action. They don't want to see two guys doing fucking whatever. Hey, we're gonna do a rest hold every 10 minutes in this match. You know what I mean? I think that is, and yes, it was good as a niche, and which is called a niche business. Wrestling is a very niche business. Eric Bischoff caught on to it and did it very well. But then once it became, am I going to get more luchadors? We gotta, and more of the storyline driven stuff was with NWO, and it got, which is where WWE is today, or it has been. They've been stuck in that mold of, we have these wrestlers, but we need to build our storylines. It's like, yeah, but you can still have matches. This is why I like when you intertwine storylines with matches.
And this is why you're going to be a great GM for the NWA for season 2 of Horny Goat. Cheap plug, baby.
That's what I tried to do, but it's really hard when you're given.
Oh, we all know, but it'll be better this time around. But we'll wrap it up here for tonight. Tomorrow, ladies and germs, you can join us for No Bucks Given. We'll probably do a little bit more of these match simulations if you guys are up for checking those out. We'll be talking primarily about WrestleMania Night 2, so make sure you guys come on in and we'll talk about some predictions about what we think might be happening for after WrestleMania and all the fun doodads and whatnot. Subscribe, like, comment, share. I want to thank Heather and JP for putting up with my bullshit shenanigans as they always do. God bless them.
My bullshit and shenanigans.
Don't you dare take my bullshit and shenanigans. They're mine. But anyway,
I love wrestling. I love talking it. I apologize. I'm over top sometimes.
It's all good. But until then, y'all, you have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some No Bucks Given.